Can you see me? Chapter 6, Feet Don't Fail Me Now, Alex meets Manolo Blahnik. Let's introduce you now to Alexandra. Late 30s, very pretty blonde with a toned body, a little shy, reserved, and a heart of gold. After a devastating breakup with her boyfriend of 4 years, Alex decided to try online dating. Even though it went against her internet paranoia, and with a lot of coaxing from her co-worker Robin, Alex signed up for Match.com. After she spent 3 months getting winked at and emailed by pervy-looking, toothless, gray-haired men old enough to be her grandfather, Alex received an email from Liam, a 38-year-old teacher who looked hot enough to be a guest model. I mean, this guy literally could be on Sunset Boulevard billboards. He had 4 photos posted, and each one was better than the last. A really good sign. Write him back, Alex. They started a nice email exchange, which led to pleasant phone conversations, and soon enough, a date was planned. Alex was excited and nervous. Here she was, going on a date with a hot guy with movie star looks and a very humble and giving job. They decided to meet at a neighborhood Irish pub. With a name like Liam, he should feel at home in the pub, right? Just before she left, Alex decided to reread his profile so she would be prepared for her date. Here's what she saw. 38-year-old man, 6'3", white/Caucasian, fit/athletic, North Hollywood, seeking women 33 to 40, within 50 miles of North Hollywood. Yep, so far so good. She continued on to his introductory paragraph. I'm a down-to-earth, honest, hard-working guy looking for that one special woman to complete me. She should enjoy candlelight dinners, long walks on the beach, and the occasional trip to an amusement park. Sorry, I'm a kid at heart. I'm looking for an athletic girl who's comfortable being casual or can kick up her heels in fancy shoes to have a good time. Alex could kick up her heels with the best of them, so this should be a good date. While she waited in the pub for her Irish George Clooney to arrive, she envisioned their first vacation together to Ireland to visit the Blarney Stone. When she felt a tap on her shoulder, her stomach filled with butterflies in anticipation to see Liam in person. But when she turned around, she was staring straight into the face of what could only be described as Liam's grandfather. This dude was old. She realized the pictures on his profile had to be about 15 years old, or they were really artfully photoshopped. Even though his face was handsome, he had more wrinkles than her neighbor's Sharpay. So being the mature, open-minded, and painfully single woman she was, Alex decided not to be superficial because it's what's on the inside that really counts. And hey, dating an older man could be a new and good experience. Okay, but just how old was he? As he sat in the booth and ordered his beer, she was acutely aware that the atmosphere between them was awkward. Alex thought he might be nervous because he kept dropping things on the floor. First it was the silverware, then it was the napkin. The third time it was his cell phone. The last time he bent over to reach underneath the table to retrieve an item, Alex decided to try to break the ice. Alex, so with a name like Liam, you must have a very rich Irish ancestry. Liam, with a blank look on his face. No, actually, my parents are Hispanic. Blank, what? Hispanic? How many Hispanic Liams do you know? So Alex tried again. So being Hispanic, how did you end up with an Irish name like Liam? Don't know, my parents are dead. Really? Okay, here we go. One more try. Okay then, so you're a teacher. That has to be a very rewarding profession. What do you teach? Traffic school. Alrighty then, they finished their beers in silence and it was apparent that this date was over. As they left the pub, Liam or Jose or Jesus, whatever the fuck his name was, insisted on walking Alex to her car. Since this was a gentlemanly gesture, she let him. Once they left the pub, Senor Liam came alive. His demeanor lightened up and he started getting quite talkative. He asked some basic questions about her life and job until they arrived at her car. Alex, clearly wanting to end the date. So, thanks for a nice evening. Here's my car. I guess I'll go now. Liam, can I ask you something? How many pairs of shoes do you own? Excuse me? I don't know. Oh, I'm curious. Do you have 50 pairs of shoes? 50 pairs? That's a lot of shoes. Probably not. Well, do you have at least 20 pairs of shoes? Wait a minute. Was this guy serious? Oh yeah, he was dead serious. I'm fascinated by women's shoes. Oh, are you an aspiring designer? No. How many pairs of pumps do you have? Do you have sandals, open-toe, red shoes? Yeah, I like boots. You know that there's a DSW around the corner, buddy, so we can continue our date there and I buy you a pair of shoes. At that moment, Alex flashed back to his profile. Hoping to meet an athletic gal who can kick up her heels in fancy shoes. And when he asked what kind of shoes she was wearing that night, it dawned on her that the reason he kept dropping things under the table was to look at her feet. Holy crap, the guy was a freak. Irish foot fetish creep. As Alex clicked the alarm on her car, she desperately looked around for anyone that could help her if she needed it. Jimmy Choo, Manolo Blahnik, Diamonds, Payless, anyone? There was no one around, so she opted to play it cool with her weird muchacho until she could get into her car and run for her life. Just wanting to get away from him, Alex agreed to meet him at DSW. Fine, Liam took off for his car faster than you could say Carrie Bradshaw, so Alex peeled off and headed home to her small but fabulous shoe collection. And by the way, Liam, she was wearing sexy open-toe gold Christian Louboutins, or as you probably call them, Louis.